African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation on the 14th of October, 2024. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces in the Liptsov and Volchansk directions inflicted defeat on formations of the 57th Motorized Infantry Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the 129th Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Volchansk and Liptsy in the Kharkiv region. The Ukrainian armed forces lost up to 45 servicemen, an armored combat vehicle, and 2 cars. A field ammunition depot was destroyed. Units of the West Group of Forces occupied more advantageous lines and positions, defeated the manpower and equipment of the 3rd Tank, 14th, 114th, 115th Mechanized Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the 112th Territorial Defense Brigade, the 1st and 27th Brigades of the National Guard in the areas of the settlements of Novosanovo, Petropavlovka, Glashkovka, Kupianska Zlovaya, Dviregnoi, Pershotravnovo, and Krudlyakhovka in the Kharkiv region. 2 counterattacks by assault groups of the 67th Mechanized and 3rd Airborne Assault Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were repelled. The enemy lost up to 490 servicemen, 2 armored combat vehicles, including a U.S.-made M113 armored personnel carrier, 3 pickup trucks, a U.S.-made 155mm M198 howitzer, and a 152mm D-20 gun. 3 ammunition depots were also destroyed. Units of the Southern Group of Troops continued advancing deep into the enemy's defenses, defeated the formations of the 28th, 56th Mechanized, 79th Airborne Assault Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and the 116th Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Levanevskoye, Shevchenko, Kramatorsk, Zaliznianskoye, and Kurakovo of the Donetsk People's Republic. They repelled 3 counterattacks by units of the 28th, 46th Mechanized, and 81st Airmobile Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. The enemy's losses amounted to 620 servicemen, an infantry fighting vehicle, 4 cars, a U.S.-made 155mm howitzer M777, a U.S.-made 122mm howitzer D30, and a U.S.-made 105mm gun M119. 3 ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Center Group of Forces improved the position along the forward edge, inflicted losses on the manpower and equipment of the 5th Tank, 28th, 67th, 100th Mechanized, 25th Airborne Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the 119th Territorial Defense Brigade, and the 14th National Guard Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Rodinsk, Kurakovka, Seledovo, Dmitrov, Sukharino, Novoseladovka, Dzержinsk, and Myrolyubovka of the Donetsk People's Republic. Repulsed 9 counterattacks by units of the 53rd, 100th, 110th, 157th Mechanized Brigades, 49th and 425th Assault Battalions of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and the 38th Marine Brigade. The enemy lost up to 465 servicemen, a Turkish-made Kirpi armored combat vehicle, 4 cars, a 122mm D30 howitzer, and a 100mm Raptor anti-tank gun. Units of the East Military Group liberated the settlement of Levadno in the Zaporizhia region and occupied more advantageous positions. They inflicted losses on the manpower and equipment of the 72nd Mechanized, 58th Motorized Infantry Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and the 110th Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Dobrovolye in the Donetsk People's Republic, and Timirovka in the Zaporizhia region. The enemy's losses amounted to 120 servicemen, an armored personnel carrier, 4 vehicles, 155mm self-propelled artillery units Bogdana, as well as Caesar made in France. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces inflicted defeat on formations of the 141st Infantry Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the 35th Marine Brigade, and the 124th Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Stepnoy in the Zaporizhia region, Dniprovskoye and Antonovka in the Kherson region. The Ukrainian armed forces lost up to 25 servicemen and 4 vehicles. An ammunition depot was destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile forces, and artillery of the Russian armed forces groups inflicted damage on concentrations of enemy manpower and military equipment in 119 areas. Air defense systems shot down a U.S.-made Mars rocket, as well as 25 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. Since the beginning of the special military operation, a total of 646 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 33,605 unmanned aerial vehicles, 582 anti-aircraft missile systems, 18,625 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,472 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 16,146 field artillery pieces and mortars, and 27,251 special military vehicles have been destroyed. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.